Welcome to Beyond the Spacious Building, a podcast for those navigating life after high demand religion. I'm Ruth, and each week I'll share reflections and real conversations to support your journey of healing, questioning, and rediscovery. Let's get started. Well, hello everybody. I am so excited to be doing this all on my own. It's a little bit weird on this side because I'm not used to pushing all the buttons and doing all the things and figuring it all out. But I have spent some time learning, and I think this is going to be fun. And I'm excited to be here. For those who don't know me, I'm just going to take this time to do a quick introduction. It's going to be a short video, but I wanted to set down some expectations of what this channel is going to be about. So I want to welcome all of you to the Beyond the Spacious Building. Of course, I'm Ruth, and I'm so glad that you're here. In this first episode, like I said, I want to share a little bit about who I am and what brought me to this point and why I started this podcast to begin with. I did spend the last 44 years as a devout Mormon. I was all in, living what I believed to be was the truth. I was committed to my covenants. I was holding leadership callings, and I was raising a family in the faith. And for a long time, it gave my life meaning and purpose and identity. But over time, questions that I had once brushed aside started to really demand my attention. And I began to study and read and really allow myself to think critically and honestly, which was a new effort on my part. I had been okay with the church telling me what was true, and I had been okay with them giving me guidelines and morals to live my life by without really making that decision for myself. And what followed was one of the most disorienting and painful seasons of my life once I started to really dig in. It was really the unraveling of my belief system. And leaving wasn't just about the doctrine. It meant letting go of a whole community, a lifestyle, and even parts of myself, parts of my identity. And it meant facing some grief and shame and sometimes silence from the people that I really loved. But it also meant rediscovering my voice and my values and really myself. And this podcast exists because I know I'm not the only one. And if you're here, maybe you're somewhere on that path too. My intention and my plan is that every week I will be sharing my own reflections. I will host conversations with others, and I hope some of you will come and share your stories with me. And I'm here to offer support for anyone who's deconstructing, questioning, or simply just rebuilding life after a high-demand belief system. I think this is a great opportunity to talk about the deconstruction process. I went through it with a faith transition therapist, and I don't know what I would have done without her. She was a lifesaver in that moment, the dark night of my soul. She helped me through so much. And I remember going through a time when I was just devastated and I was angry and I had all of these really strong feelings and I didn't know what to do with them. And over the last year and almost a year and a half, I have learned how to process those things. I have learned to find myself beyond that anger and disappointment. It's still there, 100% it's still there. But I'm interested in what we do now and how we can show up better for ourselves, for those that we love, and for our greater community as a whole. And I don't mean the Mormon community, although many of us still have friends within that community. I mean everyone, which I felt in the church. I isolated myself away from others who were different than me. And now I find myself gravitating to everyone who is different than me, because how much more can I learn from people who are different and genuine and just lovely people? And I'm so excited for this journey, and I hope that I can help you figure out where you fit in the world, figure out how to process the grief and the sorrow and the shame and the guilt and all the feelings that come from walking away from something that we believed was truth. I'm excited for that process. I hope you'll stick with me, and I hope that I can give value to someone, even if it's one person. To me, that's worth it. And I hope you'll stick around. Before I wrap up tonight, though, I wanted to take a moment to express some gratitude. I want to say a huge thank you to Nathan Hinckley from the Bishop's interview. Being a part of that space gave me the courage to venture out on my own. And this community of ex-Mormon content creators is filled with some of the most genuine, thoughtful, and compassionate people that I have ever known. And I consider myself incredibly lucky to call many of them friends. And it's because of their example, and of course of your support, that Beyond the Spacious Building is even possible. I started off when I was deconstructing, forgot the word. I started off on TikTok. I was a blubbering mess most of the time, but I was real, and I was sharing, and I was processing. From there, I began to write, and I started a blog called Beyond the Spacious Building, where I started writing my feelings. I started writing the gospel topic essays, whatever they're called. You know what I'm talking about. I started writing about those because so many people asked me, what was it that took you out of the church? And it was that I had started to read the gospel topics, and it was a church that I was not raised in, I was not converted in, and I was not believing in the things that I read in that. And so that's where I started. And it just seemed like the natural progression to do something where I could be more present, and you could hear my voice, and we could share our stories. So let's take this one step at a time. Let's keep it real, and we'll walk together in this. And I'm excited. Thank you guys so much. And that's it for tonight. So I hope to see you guys soon. And I don't know when I'll be back on, and I don't know who's going to be with me, but there's a very high chance that my number 2 interview will be Nathan Hinckley. So stay tuned. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. This is Beyond the Spacious Building, a space for healing, questioning, and rebuilding after high-demand religion. If you found value in this podcast, please like, follow, and subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Until next time, take care of yourself.